Good morning, students. Let's begin our history class. Today, I am going to explain History, Chapter 1 from the beginning of time. This chapter traces the beginning of human existence. When we start this chapter, one question comes in our mind: where did human come from? So, we are trying to discover this through the topic from the beginning of time. It was 5.6 million years ago that the first human like creature appeared on the earth's surface. Human beings resembling us henceforth referred to as modern human originated about 1,60,000 years ago. During this long period of human history, people obtained food by either scavenging or hunting animals and gathering plant produce. They also learned how to make stone tools and to communicate with each other. Even today, there were hunter and gatherer society in some parts of the world. This makes us wonder whether the lifestyle of present day hunter gatherers can tell us anything about the past. When we talk about scavenging, it is a kind of search for and collect from discarded waste. Discoveries of human fossils, stone tools, and cave paintings help us to understand early human history. Each of these discoveries has a story or the history of its own. Under this discovery, we are going to talk about the fossils. Fossils are the remains or impressions of a very old plant, animals, or human which have turned into stone. These are often embedded in rock and are thus preserved for millions of years ago. Stone tools made and used by early humans are available in various parts of Africa and Europe. Some tools, such as pebble, sharp stones, stone blade, etc., were used for various purposes in human life. Painting found on the walls of the cave in Europe and Africa are helping us to understand early human history. Most scholars refuse to accept that these objects were remains of early human. They did not believe the ability of early human to make stone tools or paints because according to Old Testament of the Bible, human origin was an act of creation of God. After a few years, the true significance of these finds was realized. Now, all this we are going to discuss with the help of picture. As this I have already explained, three evidences through which we can go through with the evidence of human being, human fossils, stone tools, and discoveries of cave paintings. We have already discussed about the definition of fossil, but what is important? Fossil can be dated either through direct chemical analysis or indirectly by dating the sediment in which they are buried. Once fossils are dated, a sequence of human evolution can be worked out. When such discoveries were first made about 200 years ago, many scholars were often reluctant to accept that fossils and other finds, including stone tools, painting, were actually connected with early humans. This reluctance generally stemmed from their belief in the Old Testament of Bible, according to which human origin was regarded as an act of creation of God. Again, this topic I will explain through the pictures. In August 1856, workmen who were quarrying for limestone in Neander Valley, a gorge near German city of Dusseldorf, found a skull and some skeletal fragment. These were handed over to Karl Fulrott. Karl Fulrott, a local schoolmaster and natural historian who realized that they did not belong to a modern human. He then made a plaster cast of a skull and sent it to the Hermann Schaffhausen, a professor of anatomy at Bonn University. The following year, they jointly published a paper claiming that this skull represented a form of human that was extinct. At that time, scholars did not accept this view and instead declared that the skull belonged to a person or more recent time. By the end 24th November 1859, when Charles Darwin's On the Origin of a Species was published, marked a landmark in the study of evolution. All 1,250 copies of the first print were sold out the same day. Darwin argued that the humans had evolved from animals a long time ago. Now we are going to see the story of human evolution, the precursors of modern human being. Again, this whole I am going to explain through the pictures. Look at these four skulls. A belongs to an ape. B belongs to a species known as Australopithecus, and the C belongs to a species known as Homo erectus, means upright man, and D belongs to a species known as Homo sapiens, literally thinking wise man. What does a species means? A species is a group of organisms that can breed to produce fertile offspring. Members of one species cannot mate with those of other species to produce fertile offspring. Then the differences that you notice in the skull shown in illustration are some of the changes that came about as a result of human evolution. The story of human evolution is enormously long and somewhat complicated. There are also many unanswered questions, and new data often led to revision and modification of earlier understanding. Let us look at some of the developments and their implications more closely. It is possible to trace these developments back to between 36 and 24 million years ago, when primates, a category of mammals, emerged in Asia and Africa. Primates are a subgroup of a large group of mammals. They include monkeys, ape, and human. They have body hair, a relatively long gestation period following birth, mammary glands, different type of teeth, and ability to maintain a constant body temperature. Subsequently, by about 24 million years ago, there emerged a subgroup among us primate called hominoids. These include ape, and much later, about 5.6 million years ago, we find evidence of the first hominids, while hominids have evolved from hominids. Then hominids are further subdivided into branches known as genus, of which Australopithecus and Homo are important. Again, Homo are subdivided into Homo habilis, Homo erectus, and Homo sapien according to their characteristics. Now, the features of primates. The primates are a subgroup of a large group of mammal. They include monkeys, apes, and human. They have body hair, relatively long gestation period following birth, mammary gland, different types of teeth, and ability to maintain a constant body temperature. Then the features of hominoids. When we talk about hominids, they are older human. They have a smaller brain, flexible forelimbs. Quadrupeds means they walk on four, did not use tool. Then we are going to see the features of hominids. When we talk about hominids, in this there were some common features. There are major differences as well. Hominids have a smaller brain. Hominids are the modern human, and hominids belong to a family known as Hominidae. They have larger brain, a specialization of hand that help to them to making tools, upright posture, and they walk on two bipedal locomotion. So these are the feature of hominids. Then we are going to see the branches, two main branches of hominids, that is Australopithecus and Homo. The features of Australopithecus. The name Australopithecus comes from Latin word austral meaning southern and a Greek word pithekos meaning ape. The name was given because this earliest form of human still retained many features of an ape, such as relatively small brain size in comparison to Homo and large back teeth and limited dexterity of hand. Upright walking was also restricted as they still spent a lot of time on trees. They retained characteristics such as long forelimb, curved hand, foot bones, and mobile ankle joints suited to life on trees. And the Homo, that word come from Latin. The Homo is a Latin word meaning man, although there were women as well. Scientists distinguish among several type of Homo. So characteristics of Homo are they have large brain, lighter jaws, and their hand and the um, walk system also different from Australopithecus. The name assigned to these species, I'm talking about Homo's species. The names assigned to these species are derived from what are regarded as their typical characteristics. So Homo habilis, they are the tool maker. Homo erectus, they are the upright man. Homo sapiens, wise or thinking man. The name assigned to these fossils are derived from places where the first fossil of a particular type were found. Homo heidelbergensis. Homo heidelbergensis, the place Heidelberg in Germany, and the place where the first fossil were found. Homo neanderthalensis, Neander Valley. So the name of the place turned into the name of the fossil where they found. Both were found in Europe, Germany. Earliest fossil from Europe are Homo heidelbergensis and Homo neanderthalensis. These were belong to the species of Archaea Homo sapiens. Then the difference between hominids and hominoids. Hominoids, a smaller brain, bigger hominids, bigger brain. Hominoids are quadrupeds walking on all four leg. Hominids have upright posture, bipedal locomotion. Hominoids have marked differences in hands as they are living on trees. Hominids flexibility in hand, leg, and finger, which help them to make tools and weapons. Then we are come to the last point, the remains of early human classified into different species. These are often distinguished from one another on the basis of differences in bone structure. For instances, species of early human are differentiated in terms of their skull size and distinct jaws. These characteristics may have evolved due to what has been called the positive feedback mechanism. Some of the features of developments in anatomy of early human being favored or shaped them to become modern human beings. These developments are together called positive feedback mechanism. Bipedalism or upright walking help to use less energy for hunting, carrying infants, making and using weapons. Flexibility in hand and finger enabled hand to be freed for carrying infant or object. In turn, as hand were used more and more, running became easy. Growth in size of brain help for thinking, memorizing, planning, and realizing to make new attempts for further development. Visual surveillance improved in early human. It favored for long distance walking, search food, find animals, and many more works. So that's all for today. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.